do it from where you are. Just go back to your...
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the reason why I did not do that was simply because I look at the law as it is, not as it ought to be. The law as it is, that is the Constitution and also the standing orders, they do not provide at all for a procedure for giving reasons. And therefore, if I could have done that, it could have been illegal, null and void. When you look at the standing orders, the procedure of removing a deputy speaker or even a speaker, we do not have such kind of a rules where you're supposed to give reasons. Maybe going forward, the new parliament or even this Senate, they may consider to provide a procedure for giving reasons. Otherwise, the law as it is, nothing is there.
Okay, I think I did allude to that in my communication, if you listened carefully, that this is we're in uncharted waters. And I said in my conclusion that in future, we need to look at how that can be dealt with. Because like you have rightly said, today is the deputy speaker, tomorrow it will be the speaker, tomorrow it will be somebody else. So that will be taken care of in the standing orders going forward, and that is in my ruling. Let us make progress. Next order.
Order number 2, motion, removal of Senator Professor Kithure Kindiki, EGH MP, from the office of the Deputy Speaker of the Senate.
Senator Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under Article 106, Sub-Article 2C of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, and also the Senate of Kenya Standing Order 69, Sub-Article 1, B2, this is a special motion for the removal of the Deputy Speaker, Senator Professor Kithure Kindiki. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this House, Senate, resolves that Senator Professor Kithure Kindiki be removed from the office of the Deputy Speaker of the Senate. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is true when you look at the standing orders, as you have correctly ruled, we do not have to give any reasons for this kind of
order,
motion.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not even...
Senator Murkomen, why don't you give him an opportunity just so that we make progress? Let him move so that we, like I mentioned, we don't have many interruptions.
Mr. Speaker, we've just said we will abide by our standing orders. So a point of order will be raised at any point. But this one has nothing to do with the Senator of Murang'a. Mr. Speaker, this has everything to do with the mic that was used by Senator Cheriot. It's been reported widely that all that he was saying did not go to any record and the public would not follow. So for the sake of those who will come and make the same presentations there, I think that should be dealt with, Mr. Speaker, because many people are saying when Cheriot was raising his point of orders, it was muted. It was only heard in this House, not to the public.
Okay, it's noted. Proceed, Senator. Those taking care of the mics, please.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, as you have correctly ruled, I did not have to give any reason as to why I brought this motion.
Proceed with the, you have already addressed that. Proceed with the motion.
Yes, allow me to give explanation, Mr. Speaker, sir. The motion is already moved, so I'm now canvassing it, right? So, Mr. Speaker, the motion is already moved. I'm now canvassing the motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
Now, Mr. Speaker, sir, notwithstanding that ruling, I hereby give the reason as to why Jubilee Party gave me these instructions. And I'm doing this just for the benefit of my brother, Senator Professor, and also for the benefit of the public who are watching us. And the reasons are, number one, there was a meeting that was scheduled on 11th of May 2020 at State House. It happened. That meeting was by the Jubilee Party. We sent a notice as Jubilee Party to various senators who belong to our coalition. And Professor did not attend that meeting. Mr. Speaker, sir, we sent notices via SMS, and we used the last known phone mobile contact of Professor. In the event Professor did not receive that message, he ought to have updated his record with the party. But otherwise, we used the mobile that was in the party's records. After failing to attend that meeting, there was no apology that was rendered to our party. And we do have minutes, which were signed by myself and His Excellency President Irungu Kang'ata, the party leader of Jubilee Coalition. Mr. Speaker, sir, we serve in these positions, having been given this position by parties, and therefore, when parties lose confidence in you, they have every right to withdraw that support. Remember, Mr. Speaker, sir, when Jubilee Party supported Professor in that position, there was no reasons that were given at all. There was no framing of charges. So in the same manner, when the parties feel they don't have confidence in the Deputy Speaker, we should also be allowed to do the same. Mr. Speaker, sir, one may argue Professor did not receive a message for that parliamentary meeting. That is possible. But under Section 29 of the Evidence Act, there is a concept called judicial notice. It also applies in parliamentary practice. When a matter is so well known, so well publicized, the issue of notice, it goes without saying, is out there. This is a matter that was highly publicized by the media, and therefore it is a fact that everyone knew there was a meeting on Monday, on 11th May 2020. For whatever reason, Professor failed to attend that meeting, and therefore the party lost confidence in him. Mr. Speaker, sir, importance of parliamentary group meetings in this country cannot be belabored. Reason being, Mr. Speaker, sir, parliamentary groups have effect of constituting governments or even toppling governments, Mr. Speaker, sir. Whereas I agree Kenya is a presidential system, is not a parliamentary system like the UK and Canada and other Commonwealth jurisdictions, we often draw lessons from Commonwealth countries. Mr. Speaker, sir, I bring to your attention to South Africa, where a parliamentary group meeting recalled President Thabo Mbeki. Mr. Speaker, sir, Theresa May was kicked out of government by a parliamentary group meeting. Mr. Speaker, sir, President Trump, who is the president of a country within a presidential system, was saved in an impeachment entity, in a military process, by a parliamentary group meeting. So therefore, when parliamentarians are meeting as political parties, what we have there is what we call sovereignty. Look at Article 1 of the Constitution. It says people can exercise sovereignty, they themselves or through their elected representative. And therefore, the meeting that was at State House was so crucial to this party. And when Professor failed to attend, the party was not happy. Mr. Speaker, sir, another reason why the party has felt it does not have confidence with Professor is the events that happened on 26 February 2020 in this House. What happened, Mr. Speaker, sir? On that day, a motion was brought by the then Majority Leader, Kipchumba Murkomen. That motion was what we call an adjournment motion. It was discussing the transfer of functions from Nairobi City County to national government. Then, after the debate, a ruling was rendered by Professor. The effect of that ruling was that this Senate, some certain committee should proceed to investigate that matter. The problem with that ruling, Mr. Speaker, sir, were three. Number one, under the standing orders of this House, adjournment motions do not crystallize into resolutions. Secondly, under these standing orders of this House, that what we call debate ideally should be about ventilations. So, in fact, the minority leader the following day raised a point of order, and the substantive speaker vacated that ruling. Mr. Speaker, sir, the reason why the president has been in the top front pushing for certain factions to go to the national government for Nairobi, he wants to ensure his manifesto is implemented in this country. He wants
What's your point of
Nairobians
order, Senator?